Welcome everyone, I am your biology teacher and today I will discuss about the absorption of the digestive products after digestion. So first of all, I am telling about what is absorption. See, the transfer of end products, that means digested products of the digestion from intestine to circulatory fluids is known as absorption. Circulatory fluids, that is blood and lymph. So there are two types of absorption, passive and active absorption. In passive, it is of two types. See in the picture, osmosis and diffusion. In diffusion, the flow chart is given about simple diffusion and facilitate diffusion. Now, first of all, I will tell about passive absorption. See, what is passive absorption? The absorption of the nutrients from higher concentration region to a lower concentration region. That means there is a membrane and one side there is higher concentration and another side there is a lower concentration. Normally diffusion occurs or osmosis occurs from higher to lower concentration without their requirement of any energy. It is a normal flow from higher to lower concentration. So there is no expenditure of energy, and the molecules flows from higher concentration to lower concentration. It includes both osmosis, where the membrane is present, and if the membrane is not present, that is known as diffusion, simple diffusion, absorption of solute molecules. And absorption of water molecules happens with the help of osmosis. Now, diffusion is of two types, simple and facilitate diffusion. So in the picture, what is simple diffusion? In this, molecules alone can be diffused. Example, small amounts of monosaccharides like glucose, amino acid, vitamins, electrolytes like chlorine, etc. This happens with the help of simple diffusion. And whereas in facilitated diffusion with the help of carrier proteins. Example, glucose, amino acids and etc. That means the small molecules can be diffused simply without the need of any carrier molecules, whereas in facilitated diffusion means with the help of another molecule. The diffusion occurs with the help of another molecule. So it is known as facilitated diffusion. So the larger molecules gets diffused with the help of facilitated diffusion with the help of a carrier molecule, whereas simple molecules of glucose, amino acid, vitamins, it diffused with the help of simple diffusion. Now, active absorption. I have discussed previously about passive absorption or the passive transport, where there is no need of energy requirement. In active absorption, there is a requirement of energy. Because why energy? Because the nutrients are transferred from the lower concentrated region to a higher concentrated region against the concentration gradient. It's need energy. Why energy? Because the nutrients are transferred from lower concentration region to higher concentration region. Now, absorption of amino acid, monosaccharides like glucose, electrolytes like sodium, etc. from lower concentration to higher concentration. This point is important. If higher to lower, it is called passive transport. If lower to higher, it is known as active transport. Now, next, absorption of lipids. Lipids cannot be absorbed directly, right? Lipid, monosaccharides, disaccharides, fatty acids cannot be absorbed directly as they are water insoluble. They cannot mix up with the water molecules because they are water insoluble. See in the picture, you can see the mechanism of the fatty acids absorption. Lipids absorption. Bile salts and phospholipids converts them into small spherical water soluble droplets and called micelles, who converts bile salts and phospholipids, converts them into micelles. Then next, they are reformed into small proteins coated fat globules that is called chylomicrons. They are transported into lacteals. Lacteals that the capillaries are there, blood capillaries are there. See in the picture, you can see the capillaries over here, where the absorption of that molecules into the bloodstream occurs. The final thing is to absorb that molecules in the bloodstream. From the lymph, chylomicrons enter the blood. Right. Now absorption in different parts of the alimentary canal. See, if you see here, pick the picture: mouth, certain drugs; stomach, simple sugar, some drugs and alcohol. In small intestine, all the nutrients are absorbed, minerals and vitamins. In large intestine, only water, some minerals and drugs. Now, after the absorption, the next step is assimilation. That means absorbed material are incorporated into the tissues. It flows from the bloodstream to the tissues, and this process is called assimilation. Now, the undigested substance like plant fibers, dead bacteria, etc. form the fecus. It enters the cecum through ileocecal valve, which prevents the backflow of the fecus. Every valve helps somewhere the backflow of the material. So here we have ileocecal valve, which prevents the backflow of the fecus. Fecus are temporarily stored in rectum and are eliminated through the anus, and process is called diffaction or egestion. Now I will discuss about different types of disorders of the digestive system. First, I will explain about jaundice. What is jaundice? Everyone is familiar with this disease. Here, the skin and the eyes turn yellow due to deposition of the bile pigment. See in the picture, you can see the yellow eyes. This yellow eyes is due to the bile pigment, deposition of the bile pigment. If you have jaundice, that means the liver is not working properly. The liver is damaged liver. So you have to look over to your liver. You have to consult with the doctors what food you have to eat or what food you have to prevent. Don't have to eat. So you have to consult the doctor if you face these situations. Overcooked food should be avoided here. Over oiled food should be avoided. Now, next is vomiting. We are familiar with the vomiting. If some indigestion occurs, acidity occurs, you vomit. You eject with ejection of the stomach material with the help of mouth. This is called vomiting. This is a disorder. It is controlled by a portion here. See in the picture I have mentioned, it is medulla oblongata portion. This vomiting is controlled by this medulla oblongata portion. Now, diarrhea. Diarrhea is frequent elimination of the watery material, watery fecus. If the absorption of the water was not controlled properly, you will feel to excrete many times, and this is known as diarrhea, frequent elimination of watery fecus. It reduces the absorption of food. You will have pain in your stomach. You have to go to the toilets many times. This is the disorder of digestive system. Next disorder, the opposite of diarrhea, constipation, right? Frequent elimination of dry stool. Water content is very less here. infrequent elimination of the dry stool. It is due to decreased peristalsis in colon. This is colon. We have, if decreased peristaltic movement, then the constipation will occur. What you have to do here? You have to drink a lot of water, and you have to consult with your doctor what to eat to prevent from this disorder. You have to consult doctor. Next is protein energy malnutrition. See the pictures of these kids, how they are malnutrited. That means how they didn't get the protein molecules. It is dietary deficiency. They are not getting the food properly. There are two types of protein energy malnutrition. First one is called marasmus, and second one is called kwashiorkor. See, first of all, marasmus. It is due to deficiency of both proteins and calories. See, we have two pictures. One is of healthy child and one is for disordered child. It is found in infants less than a year in age. What is the reason behind this disorder? Replacement of the mother's milk by foods with poor proteins and caloric value. This happens if mother has second pregnancy of the child birth when older infant is still too young. So you have to manage your pregnancies. You have to consult the doctors before taking pregnancies. Now, next, marasmus, again impaired growth and replacement of tissue proteins, extreme emaciation of the body, thin limbs, dry, thin and wrinkled skin, declined growth rate and body weight, impaired growth and development of brain and mental faculties. Next is kwashiorkor. It is due to protein deficiency only, not calorie deficiency, protein deficiency. Reason, again, replacement of the mother's milk by high calorie, low protein diet in a child more than 1 year in age. So you have the mother milk is the best food for a child. You should not replace the mother's milk. Like marasmus, it shows wasting of muscles, thinning of limbs, failure of growth and brain development. Unlike marasmus, some fat is still under the skin, extensive oedema and swelling of the body. See the picture, you can see the bodies, the limbs have been swelled. These are the symptoms of the kwashiorkor. So this is the end of this video. I'm ending up this video up to this. So if you have any query, feel free to ask me, and I will give you the every possible answer.